Welcome to the Daily Care Records website. This is the platform for managing your clients, staff, and data. Here in the Manage Clients module, you can create a new client by entering the relevant details here. Instructions to the carer would go here, which is the program of care, in the medical history and any useful information that could make the carer's job easier when dealing with the clients. You can also notify carers of any changes that have been made to the profiles. So for example, creating a new client, you might want your care team to know there's a new client to read up on. Simply click notify carers, and you can select individual carers. For example, if they were a live-in, or if it's a community-based care, you can select all, and all of the carers will be notified there's a new client to read up on, because they may get scheduled for that particular person. Simply select one and then submit, and that would send out that notification. Also, there's a search feature here. You can quickly navigate to whichever client excuse me, that you're looking for. And each client is listed with their date of birth for easy identification, as well as their picture if you choose to upload one. There's a limit on the size of pictures of 200 KB, and also there's a limit on the size of the picture for the logo of the company of 400 KB. There are various services online that can reduce picture sizes. This is done so that the information that's transferred to the carer's app is as small as possible to reduce the amount of data usage. Now for each client, we have various profiles. Alright. And on the profile, you can get information on the client that was entered. Once any changes are made to the profile, there's automatically an audit trail created in the archive. So the archive will keep a listing of every change that occurs for a client in the profile. So for example, at this point, Mary is only allergic to nuts. Later on, it was found out that she's also allergic to milk. Once that change has been made, it is available in the audit trail. Which can be found in the archive of the profile section. At any point, you can simply print out a document by clicking print and print here. You can also download the document if you want to send it as an attachment or put on a thumb drive. Here's an example of what the document could look like. Okay. This is your supervisor notes. So for example, if a supervisor wants to record some observation in the care, it can be done here. You can search for a particular period of time and have a printout of that set of notes available. You can also search. These are the daily records, or the electronic care notes that are entered by the carers, and also the electronic medication record. Here can see the details of Mary Parker's care on this day. You can also search records, and you can also print. So, select a valid day. And this is what the care notes would look like. Keeping the information concise and available. Also, in the medication, for example, can take a look at Victor's electronic medication record. Again, you can search and print. Okay. Here, you can, this electronic MAR chart, you can see the name of the care provider, their address, who the medication is for, the address of the client, who modified this medication document that the carers administer from, and also who verified that document, the pharmacy address, and the search period. Okay. Now, program of care is where two pieces of information are kept. Both the instructions that the carer is to follow and the medication list. Here we have AM, noon, evening, night, and PRN. Could be looked upon as AM, noon, T, and PM, and PRN. In this case, Mary Parker was taking lisinopril. Let's have a look at Victor. Right. He also is taking lisinopril. Now, for any medication to be updated, it needs to be verified by two people. So it's a two-step process. So for example, let's say we're updating this medication and he's no longer taking 3 tablets. He's now taking 2 tablets. 2 milligram tablets once a day. You can straight away go to update that program. But it's a two-step process. Now you can, before updating, you can choose to notify carers that there's been a change to the program of care, so that they will know to check the program of care section in their phone to brief themselves and be prepared before they go into a client. Simply again, select notify. You can choose a particular carer or all. Okay, so in this case I'm going to say no, and we'll just update. It's a two-step process, so I'll log in with another supervisor that has medication rights. Right. As Anand had done the modification, verification has to be done by someone else. In this case, Charles. So you click the to be verified button. You can see Anand edited it and it's waiting to be verified. This is the change. I'll accept it. Now the live medication that the carers will be seeing will be to take 2 medication. You'll also have the details of who edited, who verified, the date, the status, and any change to the program of care is also part of an audit trail that can be found in the archive. So automatically you can see any changes. So this was when Victor was taking 3. Right? And you can track the change that it occurred at a certain date at a certain time and what had happened. Excuse me. Apologize for that technical difficulty. And you can be able to track that it changed from 3 to 2. Okay. Now you can also edit a client details, and you have the option of notifying carers again of any change so they can be abreast. You can also delete. Now there's certain access rights that can be given to various people. If you have the access right to do medication, then they'll be able to access program of care medication update. If you have access to clients, you'll be able to edit or delete. If you have access to staff, depending on if you're a manager or if you're a supervisor, you'll have access to creating other managers and supervisors if you're a manager, or if you're a supervisor with staff rights, you'll be able to create carers. So in the carer section, it is possible to remove access from the app by archiving that carer here. So at this point, Sarah Mitchell is unable to log into the app to enter any care notes or read any profiles or do any medication, simply by doing this. Now she's able to access the app. You can create a new employee here, create a new carer, add their employee name. Whatever email address is put here, that's where the login details will be sent. Right? You can upload a picture of the carer, select the gender, etc. Once that carer has been created, it will be possible to also decide if they should be able to give medication. It may be for some reason that some carers should have access to giving medication, some carers should not, or perhaps they're nurses and you don't want carers to have access but nurses to have access, you can also individually select that a carer does not have access to the medication section. Okay. Now, supervisors, once they've been created, or they will have you'll have the opportunity to give them certain access rights. As I was saying before, if they have client access rights, they'll be able to create, edit, and delete clients. Can give the supervisor staff access and also medication access. Okay. Now a manager is like a super user. They can do everything in the system. They can create clients, staff, and have access to medication. So really, the best thing to do is to reduce the number of people that have this level of access. A supervisor that has the same access rights given will only be limited in the ability to edit other staff members' details. So once a manager creates supervisors, that information stays static. Whereas a supervisor will only be able to edit carers, even if they have staff access rights. Now, the only other thing that a manager is unable to do is to use the all feature in the library section. Okay. So for example here, in the library section, you'll see that there's a possibility of downloading all of the information for individual clients. Now, for all information, for all clients, only the agent will be able to do that. And an agent is the person that's a manager that represents the company or the membership account. As you will see here, these names have a hashtag before it and a star at the end. The hashtag represents one of the first 5 clients that's given access to electronic care notes and electronic medication for free. The asterisk represents a client that is active on the system. You see, once a client is deleted, they come into the library section and the asterisk is removed, but the data is still accessible. They're just not accessible in search and on the app that the carers will use. So that it's not it's the name of the person. That person will not be accessible in search in the general client section, but it will still be accessible, obviously, in the library section. Now, if the all function is used, you can simply download information which will keep all of the profile audit trail, supervisor notes, program of care audit trail, electronic care notes, and electronic my charts for all of the clients for a particular month. Okay. So that right here you see in the audit trail for the profile of Mary Parker, you see the program of care audit trail and the care notes, medication notes, and supervisor notes. You'll also have that information for Victor Hill. In this case, there were no electronic care notes written, so there was no PDF created. Now, the data usage function is a means to preventing the need to buy many devices for the carers. So instead of buying many devices, smartphones, to install the app so they can access this platform, this data usage feature just tracks the data that is used on smartphones that they already have. There's no need to worry about any data security because data is not stored on any of the carriers' phones. It's simply a vehicle to transport the data to the cloud. Again, you can simply select a time period and you'll be able to choose a period of time to collect the data usage for reimbursement or to the carers, which is a much lower cost over a long period of time than to purchase new devices for them to run an app. Okay. Now, once this information is loaded, you'll be able to print it off as a PDF, store it, or save it. Okay. In the profile section, if you're a manager, you're able to update your information. If you're a supervisor, the information that has been created by the manager remains the same. However, any supervisor or manager can change their password. Only an agent can change the company logo. So the special rights of an agent are they can change the company logo so that the information that's displayed in these documents, the logo that's used, that's the logo that is changed in that area. Excuse me. So to update the profile, simply go here, enter the information and save. Change password. Password needs to contain at least one number, an uppercase, a lowercase letter, and be 8 characters or more. You can use this to eye symbol to see what is written in the password field. And the training section holds the videos that are stored for training. They'll be updated from time to time, so you can keep checking. Well, thank you for viewing. Hope that you found this video informative. Good day.